Do you feel that Michael is the best ever?
I think so. I think he's not only the best basketball player, but probably the greatest athlete that's ever played any sport.
LeBron James is a much better basketball player than Michael Jordan.
After watching The Last Dance, basketball fans all over the world got to experience the Chicago Bulls dynasty. 6 rings, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and even a little baseball is just a quick summary of Michael Jordan's career. Many refer to Jordan as the GOAT, but the elephant in the room is that there's another number 23 creating a case to be the greatest to ever do it. A man named LeBron James, the king of Akron, with 3 rings and 4 MVPs to his name. But sometimes greatness cannot be defined simply by championships and awards. That's why today we are diving into the stats, the analytics, the competition, and clutchness and accolade each player has on their resume. There's only one seat at the throne. It's either King James or your Airness. And today, we find out who is the greatest. Let's get into it right now. So how do we compare 2 different players from 2 different eras that play 2 different positions? Well, I guess we'll start with stats first. Michael Jordan, a 10-time scoring champ, outscores LeBron overall points per game. But LeBron out-rebounds MJ and averaged more assists than him. Things we kinda already knew. But what stands out the most is that LeBron is a more efficient scorer than MJ, having a higher field goal percentage from the field and beyond the arc. The only time MJ reaches LeBron efficiency from shooting is from beyond the arc in the playoffs. So, Bron's overall stat line is not only higher in rebounds and assists, but also in efficiency in scoring. So overall stats, point LeBron. But let's move into the analytics. Jordan has a higher PER and a higher box plus minus in comparison to LeBron. LeBron, on the other hand, has a higher value over replacement and more win shares than MJ. But keep in mind that these stats are accumulated over the course of a player's career. LeBron playing in almost 17 complete seasons compared to Jordan's 13.5 seasons with Chicago and the Wizards has an advantage within those categories. And yes, I still can't get over the fact that Jordan played for the Wizards, but that's for another video. Offensively, we know the advantages each has compared to one another. So let's dive into who was the better defender. Michael Jordan, the 1988-89 Defensive Player of the Year, made 9 All-NBA defensive first teams and led the league 3 times in steals. LeBron, on the other hand, has made 6 All-NBA defensive teams, 5 being on the first team over the course of his career. The difference is, Jordan was always on both sides of the court. As LeBron grew into the second phase of his career, he's considered defense as quote-unquote rest mode, seen taking plays off, not switching on defense, and doing, well, stuff like this. But this isn't a knock at LeBron. He plays more defense than most superstars in today's NBA. And for this season especially, it seems like he's fully locked in on the defensive end. But defensively, we have to give this point to MJ. Next in comparison is competition. Most notably, we can remember LeBron facing a team that won 73 regular season games and then beating them in the finals after being down 3-1. And then continually playing them for 2 more years in the finals with the addition of Kevin Durant. But let's look into the competition MJ and LeBron had in their careers. Let's compare how many 50-win and how many 60-win teams each had faced in the playoffs. Playing against 50-win teams in the postseason, Jordan is 20-7, compared to LeBron being 15-9. Both great records, but Jordan definitely edges them out against 50-win teams in the postseason. Now playing against 60-win teams in the postseason, Jordan is 7-2, compared to LeBron going 3-4 against 60-win teams in the postseason. So Jordan has not only played more teams that had 50 and 60 wins in the postseason, he has better records compared to LeBron James. Now I need to address 2 things right now. LeBron's empty East and Jordan playing through expansion. LeBron is not at fault for playing in a weaker conference. Poor management by teams like the Knicks, Bulls, and Magic led to the collapse of the Eastern Conference and LeBron's second stint in Cleveland. In 2015, there was only 5 teams in the Eastern Conference with a record of 500 or greater, meaning the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed had a record of either 500 or less. Now back to Jordan. Jordan played in an era where 6 teams were added to the NBA. The addition of the Miami Heat and Charlotte Hornets in the 1988 expansion draft, as well as the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Orlando Magic were introduced in the 1989 expansion draft. Later on in 1995, the Vancouver Grizzlies as well as the Toronto Raptors were introduced to the NBA. Now what does this mean? Basically every team in the NBA had the right to reserve up to 8 players on their current roster. The rest were unprotected and eligible to be drafted for the expansion draft. This basically watered down teams' overall depth on their rosters, not to mention add 3 highly beatable teams in each conference. Basically, Michael Jordan over the course of his second three-peat in Chicago did not face as much elite opponents as his earlier years against Boston or the Detroit Pistons. So yes, there have been times where each has faced an easier road to the finals in their careers. And it's a given fact that LeBron James has faced tougher opponents in the finals. But based off the numbers of Jordan competing against 50 and 60 win teams in the postseason and having a greater winning percentage, we have to give this point to MJ. In order to be given GOAT status, you need to have ice in your veins, game winners and go-aheads. That's how you write your name next to the greats. Let's see who's the more clutch player, LeBron or MJ. The narrative of LeBron James not being clutch is a myth. LeBron has had his back against the wall many times in his career, and many times he has come through big. LeBron is 14-10 in elimination games, while Jordan is just 5-7. And while for game-winning shots, LeBron has 18 in total, but Jordan has 25 game-winning shots. And here's where things get a little tricky. LeBron has 5 buzzer beaters in the playoffs, an NBA record, 2 more than Michael Jordan. And as we can see on the chart, LeBron's field goal percentage increases and taking shots as time winds down. Yet, Michael Jordan has ended 2 playoff series off buzzer beaters. Overall, Jordan does best LeBron James in the amount of game-winning shots. And here's the X factor. He's done it on the biggest stage, the NBA Finals. In Game 4 of the 1993 NBA Finals with 13.3 seconds left, Jordan made a game-winning and one over Charles Barkley to seal the game. Not to mention, he dropped 55 points in that game. Jordan scored the buzzer-beating game-winning basket in Game 1 of the 1997 NBA Finals over Byron Russell. Sadly, this wouldn't be the last time MJ would hit a game winner over Russell. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan hits the shot to seal his second three-peat. So the verdict is this: LeBron is clutch. There is no denying that. But the legend of Jordan's clutchness is more fact than myth. So for overall clutchness, Michael Jordan outweighs LeBron. Now moving on to accolade. LeBron James has surpassed Jordan in All-Star selections, has passed him in All-NBA First Team selections, and also total points scored over the course of his career. LeBron's amazing ability to play at a high level longer than Jordan has made the gap between him and MJ shorter and shorter. But in Jordan's 12.5 years in Chicago, he has claimed 9 more scoring titles, 1 more MVP, 3 more championships, and 3 more Finals MVPs than LeBron James. In Michael Jordan's time in Chicago alone, he's achieved more accolade than LeBron James's entire career. So point, MJ. Wrapping up, based on the data we collected, Jordan bested LeBron in 5 of the 6 categories we went over. The truth is this: LeBron is the greatest all-around player we have ever witnessed. The stats show that. But the combination of analytics siding with Michael Jordan, as well as being statistically more clutch than LeBron, facing tougher competition, and being a better defender, not to mention having more accolades to his name, well, for now, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. But like I said in the opening video, it is not as simple as crowning the GOAT with who has the most MVPs or rings. The question I ask you guys is that the research put into this video is showing MJ being the GOAT. But what happens when LeBron's longevity surpasses Jordan's dominance? Would the conversation change if LeBron secures another title? The LeBron James chapter is far from over. So we'll just have to wait and see, because this story is not done being written. Thanks guys for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video, and put a thumbs up too. Comment below, who do you believe is the greatest of all time? And also, any suggestions on what my next video should be. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm Alex Antuna from Beats and Basketball, and until next time, get a bucket.